So that's a great question again. And, in terms of direction, arguably the only way we can go from here is up. Between the she-cession and the Great Resignation, people, and as you aptly noted, especially Black and Brown women, are sick and tired of the pandemic labor market, and understandably so. So in terms of, policymakers and advocates, I feel like there's a lot that the players in the public sector can do. As you've already mentioned, there is no federal protections of this kind for workers. And as you've already touched on as well, only a handful of cities in one state have passed, any form of comprehensive fair workweek laws. So this is a key place where advocates and policymakers can really gain momentum. And in addition to fighting at the top at the federal level, there's also a battle at the state level as well, especially in states where fair workweek laws currently don't exist, or as you mentioned, these preemption laws are in place, so policymakers and advocates can push there as well. And, irrespective of what's going on in the public policy landscape, private sector players can snap their fingers today and put in protection laws across the board to support their workers, which not only, is beneficial to the workers themselves, but it also helps companies retain their workforce, which is beneficial to them too. And as you already aptly touched on as well, the current coverage of fair workweek laws are quite limited in the industries that they cover and the size of the coverage as well, which mainly focus in on, retail, food service, and hospitality. So private sector leaders could easily outpace federal and state legislation in this regard as well by enacting laws across all industries. But I think that's something that's really important, and I'm just echoing another great point that you made, is that in both the private and public sector, at whatever level we want to tackle this at, we need to make sure that there's solid implementation and enforcement of these laws, because otherwise enacting them would just be in vain.
Yeah, that is an excellent point. And, one thing that I just want to add is we already have some of these laws, these comprehensive fair workweek laws that exist in one state and 6 cities. So we have a blueprint to see, what works and what doesn't. And we already have some preliminary research that does show, what are the good parts of these laws, what's really effective and what isn't really working so well right now.
Right.
But especially given the variation and the nuances of these laws across jurisdictions, we really need more comparative research to see, which specific provisions, which enforcement mechanisms are really working and which are leaving people behind. And as you mentioned, we know that women, especially Black and Brown women, they're most burdened by unpredictable scheduling and its harms. We need to ensure that any legal intervention that we take is effectively reaching these women and is not instead perpetuating already existing inequities. And we can do that with some more robust comparative research to make sure, who's really getting the benefits of these laws. And then we can take that and we can take, the good things that these laws are doing, and we can expand that, as you said, private companies can do it, but also at the federal level, at state level, we can really move forward and improve scheduling for people all across the country.